figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a very special look at the brand new Big Chief Studios 1/6 scale Oddjob from Goldfinger. One of the most classic James Bond 007 movies of all time, Oddjob is definitely a character who stands out. Now, before I get onto the packaging, one thing that I do want to talk about, and this really does impress me with Big Chief. When I got this, not only was it in a brown shipping package, it was also wrapped in bubble wrap, which is really nice, completely covered the box itself. But one thing I loved, and I don't know if I've ever seen this, but these are hard little plastic corner pieces that had been put onto each of the corners. Now, it wasn't on the actual package, it was on the outer bubble wrap, but each corner had these, which absolutely protected this and made it so that when I opened this, there was no dings on this whatsoever. That's a very small attention to detail that I absolutely love and appreciate. A lot of times collectors are very picky about getting boxes in pristine condition, so much that they will often pay extra to have the regular mailer box put into another box to protect the actual package of the figure. So seeing this really did impress me, and I want to give them a huge shout out for doing it. For the rest of the box, as I said, perfect condition. You got a really classic look, showing like the gun scope with Oddjob there in the center. Obviously, because this is Goldfinger, the lettering here for Goldfinger is done in this nice gold foil, which looks terrific. It's a collector edition, and then I like how they incorporated the 007 logo in that as well. On this side, you got that same Goldfinger text with a little bit more of an up-close image of Oddjob. The opposite side has a little bit further image, giving you more of a full body look, the same gold foil there. On the back of the package, another full-scale image, and it says, Oddjob is Goldfinger's fanatical, loyal personal chauffeur, bodyguard, and golf caddy. Physically, he is extremely strong and carries himself with a stoic demeanor. Oddjob's infamous hat has a metal rim, which he uses as a lethal weapon. And then it goes on to talk about how it's an officially licensed product with a fully realized portrait of the actor and all that. And then it is a shoebox style package, which allows you to do a little plop thing here, just like so. You got nothing on the inside. On the inside of this, though, this is also something that I really do like, and I'll have to touch on this in the actual review. You got the various accessories and things of that nature. The back of the package obviously has that same thing that I was reading you, and then you have the cast and crew responsible for making the figure. On the front section here, you got a full color image of Oddjob, but what is amazing, you remove this, it's a little slip in kind of piece. Pull this out. This is another thing that I love that they do. If I can slide it out, it's a little bit tight in there. There we go. Pull this. Come on. Pull this out just like so. So getting this out of the way for right now, on the inside you have a clamshell that fully showcases the figure and all of his accessories. And then, like I said, you have this little slip insert thing. You can see you have several other images of Oddjob throughout the entire thing. And another thing that they do that they didn't need to do, but it takes this collectible figure a step further. On the opposite side is an actual diorama piece for the figure. And if you've seen the movie, you know a very iconic scene where Oddjob takes his metal rimmed hat, throws it at a statue, and cuts his head off. Again, another little additional piece that I love that they included. It's a nice heavy cardstock. You can see it's a fairly big size. It's not a small one. And just in general, really helps to add the value to this piece. Now, not to bring up other things, but how many times have we gotten 6 scale figures from other companies where we get a little insert that covers up the figure like that? You could totally print something on the back of it. And I love the fact that Big Chief thought of doing it. Absolutely terrific. But for the packaging on this guy, that is about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have ODDJOB opened up and out of its packaging. And starting off first, you do get a certificate of authenticity, which states that this is to certify that this 6-scale collector figure is an authentic limited edition collectible produced by Big Chief Studios, licensed by EON Productions, as well as the names of the various people associated with it. And then on the other side, you have kind of a recreation of the front package, but instead of that gold foil, it's just this little lighter color. And then you do get, and I like how they do this, you get a little bit of an instruction sheet, which it says top secret for your eyes only, kind of on a play of, you know, the whole James Bond thing. The back of it has various warnings, and then when you open it up, it basically shows how to put on the different accessories, such as his watch, how his pistol can be used, how to install the batteries for the nameplate, and then the first edition bowler hat. Now, there are several different versions. This is just the regular version, but if you got an exclusive version, it comes with a bowler hat that actually has a metal rim, which is kind of cool, but I'm perfectly okay with the one that we got. Now, starting off first with the rest of the accessories, coming down so that you can take a closer look at them. Now, in addition to the 2 fisted hands that are currently on him, he comes with 8 other hands. He comes with a right hand that is in this little tiny grasping sort of thing. Works very nicely for holding the actual hat and displaying it like that. You can see you got a nice sculpted in. I can't really tell what that is, but obviously it's a ring. One thing that I'm noticing about the hands on these is they're fairly pliable. I mean, they're soft, so it works with doing some of the poses and such. I do like that. He also does have more of a pointing finger with enclosed thumb, maybe again to use, you know, for acting as if you're going to display him throwing his hat. He does have a right as well. Well, yeah, I guess so. You got a right and left hand that are kind of relaxed. You can see that this one is brought in a little bit more. Again, you can use all of these for very different poses. So, well, I mean, you can see that they are obviously sculpted different. You can pull off a lot of poses with these. He comes with a both right and left hand that is done in kind of like a karate chop sort of fashion. I do like that they're not just mirror images. You can see that the thumb is separate, whereas this one is part of the actual sculpt. And they do look really nice. Good level of detail. Despite the fact that they are a softer rubbery material, they still got, I mean, coming in here, you can see they do still have a lot of nice texture and paint detail on there. That's really very nice. And then you also do, you have that one. And then you have a right hand that is done in a trigger finger sort of pose. And then another one that is a little bit more of a kind of cupping kind of hand. Again, that comes in fairly handy with another accessory. So you do have those. You do also get several additional wrist pegs. These kind of look like they're ankle pegs, to be totally honest with you, so that's kind of interesting. So you get 2 additional wrist pegs, you get what look like ankle pegs, and then some extra buttons in there in case anything pops off, because he does have a lot of buttons. For some of the smaller accessories, he does come with a little wristwatch. Get this out of the way. Coming in to take a closer look at this, if my camera will focus. There we go. You got a nice little reflective face on there. You can see that it does have kind of a thick silver paint on there, which does kind of give it a little, like, gloopy. Is that even a word? It just looks a little bit extra of paint. It's not bad or anything, and because it's a watch, it's going to be small and it's going to be hidden by his, you know, jacket sleeve, so it's not that bad. He also does come with a golf ball. Now, I kind of wish that this had some markings on it. I forgot the number. There was a specific number of golf ball that Goldfinger uses, and it came into play later on with Sean Connery as 007, kind of switching the balls and in turn handing ODDJOB the one that he caught him kind of replacing. ODDJOB grabbed it and then shattered it. So you can definitely use like a hand like this where you can put that in there where it's like he's going to hold it and then crush it. So again, real nice use of the hands there. I do kind of wish that they had the marking on there to show that it was the specific ball that Goldfinger did use. So that's it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination, but I just would have liked to seen that. He also does come with a handgun. What type of handgun it is, again, I have no idea, but does look really nice. You got some nice painted detail with the black and then the handle. You can remove the little clip. You got some nice paint on the inside there for the bullets. You can move the hammer down. It does have a slight friction joint to it, so you can position that in. It does require some force to move that down, which is pretty nice. And then you can also take this. He comes with a silencer that you can plug that in like that, and you can have a silencer. Again, really nice movie specific accessory, which I dig. I love that. Then, because one of the plot points for the movie was breaking into Fort Knox, he, as well as all the other figures in their Goldfinger series, I guess, comes with a plastic painted gold chunk coming in here. I mean, you can see pretty nice. I mean, it is just a replica of a gold bar, but really nice color. I mean, it is plastic. Kind of wish that this was metal, but I think they did a really good job in terms of getting the texture of what looks like a gold bullion. I mean, really very impressive with how that looks. I mean, that is really sharp, and I love the color in here. Very, very nice. It just perfectly recreates that. Now, some of the other accessories he comes with is this. Now, if you're looking in the back here, like I talked about, he does come with this really nice backdrop, which utilizes the reverse side of that kind of packaging insert. But in the background here, you see a couple statues, and you see how this one here doesn't have a head. This is its head. And I love that. So what you can literally do is have that in the background, getting this out of the way, and you can put that down there as if it's part of the, and you know, just it's laying there. I mean, absolutely terrific. It does have a really nice color to it. I mean, you can see that it does have a very kind of marble-ish sort of look where it's not pure white. It is a little bit off-white, but nice sculpt on there nonetheless. Great detail with the hair, and you can see like some variation with the color and such. I like how on the underside here you got what kind of looks like marble texturing. I really think they did a good job of capturing that. And obviously how this was busted off and ended up falling was his signature weapon, which is this really very silly looking hat. Now, like I said, the exclusive version comes with metal around here. I don't really need it. That gives a level of detail and accuracy, which I think is great, but it's not overly needed for me. And like I said, you can take, let me find the hand here. You can take that, you can have him hold it. And that's, I mean, how would you do that? Maybe something like that, I guess. And that's kind of tough to get a finger on there. I mean, you can have that and have him throwing it or something. And let's see, maybe, no, that's not going to be a good one, though. His little golf ball tried to escape, something like that, maybe, or no, pointing. I mean, he's probably pointing, but either way, you can pull off some cool poses with it. Or, hey, put it on him. There you go. Really does kind of complete the look. Now, like I was talking about, all of these come with a display stand. Each of them have a different name plaque, which you can see is this little frosted piece of plexiglass. It says ODDJOB, it says Goldfinger. You got a little slit right here. You can run on the bottom. You got the battery compartment, and then you have the on and off switch. This is something that I absolutely love that Big Chief has done. Now, you can put the nameplate right in there like that. Now, as you can see, it's not on. It doesn't light up or anything. It is turned on, but what they did is they have like this touch sensor on the side where you touch it and you can see it lights up. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know why other 6 scale companies haven't done something like that. I love having display stands that light up, but I hate having to constantly turn them on and off. This, I could just, boom. Done. Now, I mean, the only way that this could have gotten better is if it did have a little plug where I could have plugged it in, where I could leave it on all the time. But this is amazing. I love how they did that. And it's literally as simple as just touching that side. That's it. The other sides don't have it. It's like right here underneath this little area right there. Just absolutely fantastic. I love it. Really, I do. Then you have the adjustable cradle. You have the little U-shaped section right here. So fairly standard in terms of the crotch grabber, but what they did with that is just phenomenal. Now, coming in to take a closer look at the figure, I really do think that Big Chief has done an amazing job of capturing that likeness of the original actor. Fortunately, I don't remember his name, but this really does look good. I mean, he's got a very stoic look, like that bio said, with some very stern eyes, a very kind of neutral mouth expression. You can see some nice wrinkles in his forehead area, great sculpting. And then you come around to the back and you can see his head is a bit chunky, honestly, and they sculpted it very nicely. You can see even the hair kind of fades here towards the back, and you can see it's sculpted really well there at the front with some nice paint detail. But the overall look of that face is absolutely priceless. They nailed it, I think, perfectly. Coming back to the actual outfit, one thing that I would say is that, and it's just the design of the overall suit. The tie here does kind of get a little bit messed up many times if you're moving his head around. Now, he did have these big giant collar pieces that came up. I mean, everything on here is very accurate. It's just on a figure, it kind of requires some futzing. That's the term that a lot of us collectors use, where you kind of manipulate and get things to drape a little bit better. It doesn't look bad or anything. You can see that the undersection here has this nice vest. The buttons here can remove, revealing his shirt underneath. I'm not going to play with that or anything, because ideally this is how he always looked, so this is perfect for me. But a good length with the sleeves, the tailoring, the fit on it looks really good. I mean, it did kind of bulge a little bit, obviously, because he is a fairly big guy, so it does work. As you can see, I did put his watch on there. Coming down to the pants, really very nice pant detail as well. I like the nice crease that goes down. It gives it a very realistic look. I think that the fit on this is very impressive. He does have some socks, which it's kind of funny because it's actually listed as one of his little accessories, so he does have socks. He has some really nice shoes. I like the way that the pant length kind of drapes down over his dress shoes. I think that looks really good. The overall presence of him is really solid. Now, obviously, to complete the look, you do have to put his hat on there, and that's a lot of what we saw him walking around in. And then again, he would take this off and he would chop things up. But that's a great looking figure. Now, again, you can kind of see that underneath here, he does have buttons for his shirt. It's a little bit twisted, and part of it is the tie. So you do, again, like I said, say you have to futz with it. You can, I'm going to be very careful when you're doing this. I always get nervous when I pull these buttons out because they're just sewn on. I mean, part of them is like glued, and then the other part is kind of glued on or sewn on. I mean, you can kind of see that underneath there, but you can see that the intersection here does have his nice dress shirt and everything. I do wish that there was a way to attach the undersection of his tie so it's not constantly flopping around, but kind of futz that around, and you gotta bring it down. There is a little bit of a fat suit underneath there that kind of bulks him up some, but you bring that around, and again, it does require some futzing. That's the word that I keep using, and I think it would be a little bit easier if that bottom section of the tie wasn't there, but I mean, that would then make it less accurate, I guess, right? So I am just being nitpicky with some of this stuff. So buttoning this back up, and they're very, well, that one doesn't want to go. They're fairly thin pegs for these little buttons, so you do want to be a little bit careful and not push too terribly hard with it, as you could bend the plastic. So just be cautious as you're doing it. And where is that? There you go. That snapped in there. And then again, just be cautious as you're doing it. You don't want to damage anything, but the overall fit of the suit, like I said, does look good. You just do have to kind of manipulate some things. But the overall presence is what I think really does shine on this. It really does nicely capture how the character looked. Now, for his articulation, there is a neck joint down here that allows him to look up and down fairly decently. I mean, he goes pretty far down. Oh, actually, there's two joints on there. I didn't even notice that. He's got an upper neck joint right below there, like underneath his chin, and then there's another one underneath there. I didn't even notice that. That's pretty cool. And you can pull his head off. So playing with it made me pull his head off. So 2 joints right there. It does feel like he has a bit of a butterfly joint. The shoulders do rotate. The suit does restrict a little bit, but as you rotate it around, kind of rotate the jacket around, and you can get a higher range of motion with his arms. You can move him in and out decently. He rotates at the upper part of the bicep. He's got 2 joints here at the elbow. Hard to tell what's going on for his torso articulation. It does rotate, but again, his dress shirt is tucked underneath there, so you do have to be a little bit careful. But I feel like there's like a waist joint and then maybe even an ab joint. I'm not 100% certain, but you get a decent range of motion there as well. Get that head back up. The feet, or the legs move forward and back. They move in and out. Oh, there's a little fuzzy right there. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to have to trim that, but that's an easy fix. He does rotate at the upper part of the thigh. Again, I can kind of feel the fat suit coming down, bulking up his upper thigh area. He does have 2 joints here at the knee. The ankles are on ball joints, so you get a nice range of motion there. They rotate, tilt, move forward and back. So all the articulation that you would expect in a 6 scale figure is there. I don't think you really need a lot of dynamic poses with this guy, but really, the overall, if you're a fan of, you know, the GoldenEye or James Bond, this is definitely a very fun figure to have in your collection, and I think they did a great job with them. But as you can see, really, Big Chief has done a terrific job of recreating this figure. Everything from the tailoring of his outfit to his accessories and his likeness all absolutely match with what I would hope in an Oddjob figure. There are a few things that I wish were a little bit different. Having this display set up right now, I do kind of wish that there was a bit of a base, like where you can see the green here on the backdrop. I wish they gave you a bottom section where it can continue the grass so that when you do have the head there, it kind of looks like it's actually part of the lawn. What else did well, I don't really know what they could have done differently with the way that his tie is. As I said, it is accurate to the outfit that the actor wore. I just think that on a figure, it requires a little bit too much handling in order to get it looking good. A lot of it is just because of the bottom section of the tie, to be totally honest. But other than that, this is a really great piece. As I said, Oddjob is a very iconic character in James Bond lore. Even if you don't necessarily know him, you've probably even seen other versions of him in many other movies. The one that pops in my mind instantly is from the Austin Powers films, in which they spoofed both Oddjob and Goldfinger, who they called Goldmember, which let's not get into that. But if you're a fan of the franchise, this is definitely a figure that you would want to have in your collection. It displays very nicely, and the overall value of the figure is nicely represented in the price that you pay. So all that being said, if Oddjob is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he will be hitting various online retailers fairly soon. One thing that I will note is that you can buy this individually at different places, or if you go through Big Chief's online store itself, you can actually buy a set which includes this, Goldfinger, and James Bond. Which really, if you're going to want to get all 3 of these figures, you might as well go that route. It ends up saving you a little bit money in the long run, and you can get them all shipped together instead of paying individually for it. So like I said, you save a little bit of cash if you go the route of buying all 3. Either way, whatever you want to do, I'll put a link down in the video description where you can check this out and you can add it to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, do me a real quick favor and click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.
He's the man with the Midas touch, a spider's touch, such a cold finger.